Hey everybody, this is Townsend. I'm a singer, songwriter, musician, and mental health advocate, and I started the You're Not Alone project and podcast to help educate, spread awareness, and simply help you feel a little less alone, no matter what you're going through. Thank you so much for tuning in to Season 2 of You're Not Alone with Townsend. Be sure to click the follow button and share these stories. You can also watch the interviews on our YouTube under Townsendtmusic. You can also keep up with the journey if you follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Townsendtmusic. Every like, follow, and share helps us continue to change lives. What is up, everybody? It is Townsend. Welcome to You're Not Alone with Townsend. Once again, this is a super special episode. I'm so excited about this one. I literally say that every episode. I have this conversation every one, but every story is so inspirational, so amazing. So I ran across this story on Instagram, actually. Somebody had me look up your page, and I fell in love the first time I saw it because it is something I've never heard of. And this is a diagnosis I had to look up myself, and it really caught my attention. Reading more about it, learning more about it, following your story. So basically, this is Sadie's mom. So she posts a lot of social media about Sadie, which is her daughter, and she has a diagnosis of Sanfilippo Syndrome. Is that how you pronounce it?
That's right. That's good.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I've been working on it. No, so Sanfilippo Syndrome, we will get more into that as we keep talking, but it's something, like I said, super new to me. And I thought, I have to have her on to talk about it. So thank you so much for joining us.
Of course. Thank you so much for reaching out. This is awesome. This helps tremendously, just spreading awareness. And this is awesome.
I am literally so honored to do that. And I'm honored to follow your page and just for you to be on here and share the story. And that's exactly what the podcast is for, to help people feel a little bit less alone. I've been reading up a lot, and it looks like there's not a ton of research for this syndrome, but we'll get into that a little bit later. So let's hop in. Let's introduce you, Ashley, and tell us a little bit about yourself as well as Sadie, since we're going to be chatting about her.
Okay. So I'm Ashley, Sadie's mom. And that's what I get called a lot of times. Are you Sadie's mom?
She's fine. The star. She's the star.
Yeah, I've learned to deal with it. It's fine. So we live in North Carolina, and she'll be 7 in March, which is crazy. And I actually work in the research field, it's kind of crazy because that's,
wow.
Our goal is to get her into a research study. My research is not as intense as the things that she would do. She is in like phase 1 studies that are, infusions and things. And what I do, it's like diabetes and blood pressure. It's not
still important, still important though.
Yes. But it's been easy for me to kind of navigate the field with, I know some of the lingo with reaching out to doctors about studies, and she was actually in a clinical trial. So it's kind of easier for me a little bit because I know a little background stuff on clinical trials. So that's been helpful. And she is just what you see on social media. Like, I have a lot of people say, is she really like that happy? And she is. Like, she's never upset and mad. She just is joyful. Like, she is the epitome of joy. And it's hard to be sad and look to the future when you have, I think that's a blessing. That's God. That's a godsend for us that she has that joy and all of that it's not dreary days. We have good days, and we live in the moment and all of that. So yeah.
I love that so much. We were talking before we hopped on here. If you haven't followed those social media, Sadie's like a beautiful little 6-year-old girl. And I was telling her mom, I don't know how you say no, because she's got this big old like bright eyes. And when she looks at the camera, I'm like, okay, you can have whatever you want. Okay, fine. So I don't know how.
She doesn't get no a lot.
Yeah, she would have all it's kind of like I have a golden retriever and she's obese because I can't say no because they're just so cute. And you're just like, okay, fine, you can have whatever you want. I love it.
Hard.
I love it so much. How amazing though that she's so positive. Let's hop in because I'm interested to tell people what in the world Sanfilippo syndrome actually is. I want to personally thank you for taking the time to listen to these conversations. It truly means so much. We've changed so many lives for the better, and we want to continue doing so throughout 2023. This project is made possible by sponsors and patrons. So if you'd like to help keep the You're Not Alone project going and hearing these amazing stories, we would love for you to join the family at patreon.com/TownsendTmusic. Just for signing up, you'll get free merch, discounts, and behind-the-scenes patron-only footage, not only of my music, but of each episode. That's right, so each guest on every episode answers a few more questions that only patrons will be able to watch and listen to. So head on over to patreon.com/TownsendTmusic and let's continue changing lives. So what I saw was basically your body can't break down sugars is the layman way to put it. And they're calling it childhood dementia.
Yeah, and that's like an easy way, and it's kind of it pulls at your heartstrings a little bit to hear children
Yes.
can have dementia, but it works in the same the same timeline kind of as dementia in the elderly. It's, the kids progress normally until it's different for every kid, but around 5 or 6, and then they start to lose skills. They lose their memory, they lose their ability to speak, to walk, to talk, they lose everything. And the life expectancy is around the mid-teens for Sanfilippo.
Wow. Oh my gracious. Did you have any idea what this was before Sadie came along?
No.
Yeah. So I've read, correct me if I'm wrong, I try to do some research before I chat to people, and the only thing I could find was it's considered a rare diagnosis, but like 1 in 700,000 kids are diagnosed, but that doesn't sound that rare to me.
And I don't know, I wrote it down. Let's see. 1 in 169 people are carriers. So
Wow.
it's not as rare as you think. It's
Yeah.
crazy. But both parents have to be carriers.
Okay.
And then you still only have a 25% chance, even if both parents are carriers.
Okay.
So you have a lot of siblings, they'll have one kid with it, one kid without it, or we have multiple twins, which blows my mind. One has it and one doesn't. And that's just crazy to me. But
okay.
yeah.
Wow. So it's kind of just drawing a straw. Whatever you get, you get.
Yep.
Okay. That is so interesting to me. So when did you all start to question Sadie's development? So like what were her first signs and symptoms where you were like, man, something is going on here?
So we were lucky.
Yeah.
Sadie, when she was born, she was not premature. She was technically term, but she was having issues breathing. She was airlifted to the local children's hospital because we had her in our local hospital, and it's not very big. They don't have any kind of NICU set up or anything like that.
Sure.
So she was airlifted, which that's crazy.
Yeah, that will make you have a cardiac arrest as a mother.
Yes,
I can only
go
imagine.
with her. It's like you can't. I had an epidural. You can't feel your legs. You can't get on a helicopter.
Yeah, you're like, I will run. I will army crawl with my hands.
Yes, I was like, okay, you are discharging me in exactly 12 hours after birth, and I'm going up. Like, they knew.
Yeah.
Mama Bear had already come out. It was like day 1.
Yeah, I love it.
But she was having lots of trouble breathing at birth. She had a brain hemorrhage not long after birth. Not exactly sure when. She was also having trouble eating. There were just a lot of little things she was having issues with that she shouldn't have been because she wasn't premature. And so my husband had a distant cousin. So when I say we didn't know anything about Sanfilippo, we knew of it.
Right.
My husband had a distant cousin, and I forget the number. It's like 5th cousin or something.
Whoa. Yeah.
I
can't even name my 4th cousin.
Yeah.
I don't even know that I know my 3rd cousin.
And we knew she had Sanfilippo. We didn't, I don't even know if I knew how to pronounce it right.
Yeah, right.
So we knew that was in the family. So we were having all these issues, and I was just trying to come up with, why are we having these issues? Like, what is the reasoning? What can be causing all this stuff? And so they ask you all the questions, is there any issues in your family like this and all that stuff? And the only thing I could come up with was that was in my husband's family.
Wow.
So we had her tested. She actually was diagnosed at 3 months old, which is super crazy in the Sanfilippo world.
Right.
Usually the only kids that are diagnosed that young are like siblings from other kids that were diagnosed.
Right.
So we were super lucky in getting that diagnosis so young, because we were able to, start all of the speech therapy, the physical therapy, occupational therapy. We were able to get her on everything, and try as hard as we could to build up as much as we could.
Yeah.
She was actually accepted into a clinical trial when she was 3.
Oh, wow.
And it's been a roller coaster life so far.
Yeah.
So we were in the clinical trial for like 3 months or something crazy. And they were like, we're not going to continue this study. And it was actually helping her. Like, she was doing very
What?
well on the study drug. Yes. So she
Okay.
was on the study drug for 2 years. They did honor the agreement of being on the drug for 2 years, which that was a huge blessing. Most of the time when they say we're done, it's done.
Right.
But she was on that clinical trial for 2 years, and it was huge for her. Like, she had no regression. She was doing so well. And since she's been off of it, we have noticed her struggling more with her work. They're here and they don't come out. Like, she's trying, she gets frustrated sometimes.
Oh.
But she's still, even with that, and when she gets frustrated, she's still just so happy with life, and it's contagious. It really is.
I love it. So when somebody stops a clinical trial, does that mean that they're like, okay, for the majority, this isn't working? Or have they, like, what does that mean for them to
Usually,
say?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, usually. But in this study, there were 6 total kids.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a phase 1 trial. So the first time it was in humans at all. So that's another scary thing that there was lots of turnover at the pharmaceutical company, and they decided to focus on different rare diseases.
What?
Yeah. We fought it. We fought it so hard. We petitioned it. We reached out to Aunt Jessica, helped me with this. She contacted, I don't know, it was probably like 50 different pharmaceutical companies and different people in the pharmaceutical industry to be like, will you purchase this drug and continue this study, because it's working. It's maybe not great for every kid, but I mean, there's not only one blood pressure medicine, there's lots of blood pressure medicines,
Right.
But we reached out to so many people, and I mean, we were on Zoom meetings just begging for people to just purchase the drug, and it was just too hard of a drug to make. It's too hard to make, and it's expensive to make.
Yeah.
And it's something that the kids have to get. You would have to get weekly for the rest of your life. So it's a huge expense.
Yeah.
But it's also a child's life.
Man, I don't know if I would rather have that moment of hope and it be taken away, or just not ever have that moment of hope, like how,
I know.
Golly, I've never thought about that before, which I'm sure most people listening, you're not in that position. So you don't even think about trial and then them being like, never mind, we got to stop this. That's crazy.
Yeah, it is. It's
Holy
crazy.
moly. So when you found out that she had the Sanfilippo, let me start with this first. So the 5th cousin or whatever, did y'all have contact with them? Like, were you able to ask questions about it, or?
Yes.
Okay, that's awesome.
They were very helpful, especially initially, just kind of, and that was something that I shielded myself from for a while. Like, I didn't want to see the later stages, and we still had a newborn. I didn't want to see all of that stuff. So there's all the Facebook groups, there's all the things, and I still sometimes don't really pay attention to them, because it's ignorance is bliss, and I don't want to see it.
Yes.
Yeah. So but they were very helpful. They were very sweet and kind, and answered any questions, and
I can only
it was awesome to at least have distant family that was there for us.
Absolutely. Now, how old are you? You look like 17. What? You're 36? You. Yeah. Okay. I was thinking, oh my gosh, she must have been a baby when you had her. Okay. I only asked because you literally look like you might be 18.
You're my new best friend.
Yeah. I'm being so serious. So my mind was like trying to wrap around like literally being a child yourself and raising.
I could not imagine that.
Yeah. Well, at any age, just the maturity level that you have to have immediately. Day one, you're like, okay, we're in it to win it. Let's figure out how to do this. So with that, did you have to seek out a specialist? I know you were talking about you know how to do research, so you can rock some research, but what about specialists? Like, I cannot imagine going to my primary care physician and being like, this is Sanfilippo, and him being like, oh yeah, I know exactly what that is. Right?
No, they
Like,
would
so
not. They
how
would
did,
not.
yeah.
They would not. So initially, the hospital we were at that she was in the NICU at, they didn't really know much about Sanfilippo.
Yeah.
But they did put us in contact. Luckily, in North Carolina at UNC Chapel Hill, our doctor, Dr. Munzer, is he's a big deal in the Sanfilippo community. He speaks at all the big meetings.
Wow.
He's awesome.
What
He's
are the
only
chances?
and I know, like we've been so for us to have such a terrible diagnosis, we've been so lucky. Like it's like all these things, and you don't really think about them at the time. But like when I'm telling my story, I'm like, luckily, Dr. Munzer is just right up the road. Like most people have to fly in to see him, and he's just right up the road from us. Also, her clinical trial was at Chapel Hill.
Okay. Wow. Like up the road.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it was, we didn't have to relocate. We didn't have to, we were about 2 hours away, which that sucked at the time. But like some of the other families had to like relocate for 2 years. And that's,
yes.
I
have had guests on here that relocated to a different country. Like they packed up their whole family, flew, found a place to live just to do a clinical study. So to be 2 hours away, that's amazing. Amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, so we talked about being familiar with it. You had a little bit of an idea. So for the people listening, you did this clinical trial, which means there's usually not much research on it just yet. So is there a cure or even a way to help maintain her progress right now?
No, so there's no treatment, there's no cure. We have her on Prozac because there was a study that was done in mice that showed that it decreases the buildup in their brains.
Okay.
So we're doing like our own study to see if that helps. Like it's kind of just the little bit of research that's out there. You kind of got to dig for it and just try it.
Yeah. Might as well.
I mean, there's
try
no
it.
cure at all. Like literally the only hope for kids with Sanfilippo is to get them in a clinical trial. And then that's still just a clinical trial. Like it's not it's not a guarantee. It's just we're going to try this and see.
Right. Oh my goodness. That my mind is just like clicking, thinking about this sweet little girl. Like y'all, she's so precious. So you said she's about to turn 7 or 8.
She'll be 7 in March.
She'll be 7. Okay. So comparatively, like how is she functioning as a 7-year-old as compared to like a typically developing 7-year-old? So for people that don't follow your social media, what are some things that she does that are maybe signs of regression to give people an idea of what you work with every day? So like potty training or speech wise.
So cognitively, she's around a 3-year-old level.
Okay.
Which she's still able to communicate. That's a huge blessing. Most kids at this age with Sanfilippo are not able to communicate. Potty trained, she's never been potty trained.
Yeah.
And that was something that I never even really pushed just because I knew it was just gonna turn back around eventually. So I never even really pushed it. But also with Sanfilippo, those kids are very hyperactive.
Okay.
So if you see us out in a restaurant and she's doing laps, this is Applebee's. It's not fine dining. You're fine.
Karen, get up and go to a different restaurant.
This is just Applebee's. Okay, you're fine.
Okay. Wow. So she's like ready to rock and roll. Does she ever sleep? Does it affect her sleep pattern?
It has not affected her sleep, but that is very big in Sanfilippo. Like I've seen moms on social media post that their kid's been up for like 2 days straight. And
my goodness.
I can't be doing that. Like
that's how you look 18. You get your beauty rest.
Yeah, the grandparents are gonna be coming in for that. Like we can't be doing up all night.
Wow.
But thankfully right now she sleeps perfectly. But the hyperactivity, and she has no fear. So like if we are, out in a parking lot or we don't really walk up the street because she just runs.
Yeah.
So she doesn't have that fear factor of knowing that she shouldn't do that.
So do you, like when you go out in public, let's say you go to the grocery store. So for me, the grocery store is overstimulating enough by myself. How in the world do you do daily tasks?
So for her, like a lot of autistic kids don't like the overstimulating, like the loud noises and lots of people. she thrives off that. So
Really?
so she's sensory seeking.
Wow.
Once in a while, loud noises affect her, but not normally. But like she loves people. Like she'll just
That is
randomly in a
so
grocery store, she'll
awesome.
just walk up and hold somebody's hand. Like I have to be
Oh
like, oh my
God.
God, I'm sorry.
That
Like I
is
feel like I have a dog. Like she's not gonna bite. She's just friendly.
she's
She's not gonna bite.
yeah.
She's just friendly. But she does have like an impulse control issue as well. Like they just throw things. And
Yeah.
that's part of Sanfilippo. So and and it's kind of like sometimes she'll accidentally hit you or flail her arms, and it's really just an impulse issue.
Yeah.
And she also puts everything in her mouth, so we normally have these little chewies that clip on her shirt like with the passy clip and stick that in her mouth, and she's usually good, but sometimes the impulse she throws it, so
Yeah.
it's
Listen, I'm not gonna lie. If I didn't have that little filter, I'd be picking up things at the store and eating them too. Like you walk by the fresh fruit and like my automatic thought is like pick it up and eat it. So I can't
yeah,
imagine
yeah.
being 7 and that I would be like done. Like I would
And then you just throw
100%.
it.
Yeah,
You
just
just
chunk it at
throw it.
somebody. Who doesn't want to do that? Like let's be for real. When have you not wanted to throw an
She
orange
lives
at a
her best
stranger?
life.
Yeah, like I'm kind of like,
She
okay,
lives
really
everybody's
though.
best life.
Speaking of that, does she seem to understand that she's having a regression? Does that seem to bother her? I know you said she
No,
gets frustrated.
she doesn't
Okay.
understand it at all, thankfully,
Yeah, I
because
was gonna say that's
I
kind of a
mean,
blessing.
and she's the only child, so it's not something that would be so hard to explain to an
Wow.
older sibling or a younger. Like I just feel like that's hard. She does have a lot of cousins, and I haven't really had like talks with them, but it's like they know, like kids are amazing.
They
Like
really are.
it's crazy. Like we have a church that we just started going to the beginning of last year. And they actually have a special needs program, and
Cool.
it's so awesome because they, like, the regular kids will go and do like trips over the summer, like bowling and skating and little things like that, and they always include the special needs class. And it
Oh,
is just so sweet because it's like those kids are like, they'll kind of like look like something's different,
yeah.
and they're trying to figure it out, and then a few minutes later it's like they'll come and like want to hold her hand or like want to take her and do
Oh,
stuff. Like it's like they know. It's so
yeah.
sweet.
I love
It's
that. We've had that conversation multiple times on this podcast. If only we could have the innocence of a child, right?
yes,
Because like
yes,
anybody with a disability or anybody on here that we talk about, like the struggles that we have, kids are just like, what? Why does she not talk like me? And you explain it, and they're
yeah,
like, okay, and they move on,
yeah,
and that's it.
yeah.
And then we get older and all judgmental. So kids
Mhm.
are just so innocent and so pure, and it's so cool to watch. I love it.
It
I
is.
love it.
It's so sweet.
Yeah, so I guess you've not really had to have a conversation with her. Like, I guess
No,
that would be really hard to have.
yeah,
Yeah, okay.
yeah. She wouldn't understand.
Yeah, and it's a blessing she doesn't, like you said, she doesn't realize, she doesn't see the regression. That is
Mhm.
amazing. Because I wondered myself, like, how disappointing would it be in yourself to be like, yesterday I could do that.
Yeah, and like when she's doing things with the other kids, it doesn't seem to register to her that that kid's doing more or running faster, or it doesn't seem to register her. She just, again, living her best life. Like
Living her best life. Okay, so far it's sad. She sounds like a pretty amazing kid. Um,
she is.
I know on social media you post her aunt quite a bit. What
Mhm.
does like your support group look like that helps you with all of this?
So grandparents are
Yeah,
like, if I say I need something, they're there,
I
like
love it.
all the time. And we live in the same neighborhood as my mother-in-law. My father-in-law lives just down the road. My parents do live in a different town, but they're only like 30 minutes away. But she FaceTimes Sadie every day. Like my
Yo,
mother-in-law picks her up from school, and Aunt Jessica FaceTimes her every day. Like they
I
have the
love it.
sweetest little bond. And Aunt Jessica is my saving grace. Like she does all of our social media. When we got the news about that clinical trial, she was the one that helped write letters and get in contact with all these people. And she's just been amazing. Like I
Yeah,
couldn't do this without her.
bless you.
It
What
is.
a man, what a patient person you have to be. So I applaud you for that. Like
It,
that is
it's it's
just
taken a lot to get there. It really
yeah.
has taken a lot. Like I've had to learn and kind of evolve myself, and
Yeah. Oh, I
Yeah.
can only imagine the maturity that you've had the past 7 years, for sure. Okay, here's a tough one. What's something you wish you knew in the beginning that you know now? So something 7 years ago, maybe before you had her or when you had her that you wish you knew.
I just wish that I knew that everything was going to be okay.
Yeah.
That she's amazing, like you think.
Yeah.
She is perfect. She's going to blow your mind with her personality. Like, I don't know where she got that personality. It was not me. She is, and just, I want to remind myself and I've grown into this too, to live each day,
Yeah.
to the fullest.
Like she
To
does.
cherish. Yes. And that's what we do. I don't really focus on the future. I pay attention to the here and now, and we try to make as many memories as we can. And yeah, I just, to live in the moment and to be grateful that she, even with the terrible diagnosis, that she is here. I wouldn't trade her for anything. Like, just that personality.
Yeah. She's almost teaching you more than you're teaching her.
Oh, she definitely is teaching me more.
She's teaching you some life lessons. She's like,
she definitely
I feel like God's like, Ashley needs to learn a little patience. So
yeah.
I'm kidding.
Done,
we could all
done.
done. I feel like we could all learn that, man. I had a preacher tell me forever ago, he's like, be careful praying for patience, because you'll get tested and it'll be the hardest thing you've ever done, for sure. I think my favorite thing on social media that you guys do is the tiny little things. Like, one of them was, let's say, I think it was you, her aunt, and her in like a sequined New Year's dress. And it was so fun. Like, she's dressed to the nines and now just having like a big time at home. And I love that so much. Like, just
like we were celebrating New Year's. That was just, we just put the sequins on and like dance and had a dance party. And like,
I love it so much. She just in this cute little
dancing.
dress. Yes.
And it was fun. But we do, like, the past 2 summers, I have gone part-time at my job so that I can spend more time with her.
Wow.
And so that we could go on little adventures. So every week we would go on, like, a couple times a week. Sometimes we would do, like, I don't know, like a museum, a playground, like Build-A-Bear, any little thing. And we would do that. And I would always try to invite some of my friends, and especially my friends that have kids, not necessarily her age, but just kids. Yeah. And I feel like that's a good way to incorporate her and have like one-on-one time with kids so that they kind of know more, understand her more and everything. Yeah. But that's been my goal in life, is to just do all of the things. Like, just, we're going on a Make-A-Wish trip to Disney. And I was like, if we weren't going with Make-A-Wish, we were going with Disney. We were going to Disney anyway. Like, we were trying to go. We went to Peppa Pig theme park.
Yes, that is awesome.
Like, in November. Like, I'm just trying to get in all of the memories with her that I can. Man. I even had her pictures done in my wedding dress. Which, you got a hyperactive kid and you're trying to hold up a wedding dress. And I told the photographer, I was like, you're going to charge me more. Like,
I was going to say, she deserves her money. Wow.
And they turned out amazing. Yeah. Amazing.
Wow. Okay. So can you like adopt me? Because this really does sound like the best life.
Let's do it. Come on.
Yes, I'm gonna be the aunt from Arkansas that just joins in on these.
You can be Aunt Townsend. Like, we need more aunts. The more the merrier.
I'm really great with kids. I'm fun. Yeah. But yeah, I'm just gonna join on these trips, okay?
Yeah, you have a dog.
That's it. Like, a golden retriever. Oh my gosh, she would lick Sadie to death. Like, she loves kids and water more than anything in the world. Yeah, it's perfect. We've got it all worked out. That's it. I think I'm adopted now. I love it. Okay, so what advice do you have for people maybe going through something similar? Maybe not even just Sanfilippo syndrome, but a diagnosis with a child or something tough, just any kind of advice you have.
So I think the biggest thing is you need a community, family, friends. We work with the foundation, the Cure Sanfilippo Foundation. They've been amazing, and they also help fund research. I think community is the biggest. If I didn't have, a grandparent to keep her once in a while on the weekends, I would lose my cool.
Yeah.
And also advocate. You are your kid's advocate. Like the doctors tell you no, or you're the advocate and you speak for your child.
I love that. Absolutely. Absolutely. She can't get up and speak for herself. Get you an aunt like the one that y'all have
Get
and
you an
just go
Aunt
sign
Jessica.
petitions. I love that. She just
That's the
picked up the
third
phone and
thing.
was
Get an
like,
Aunt
no,
Jessica.
that's it.
Yeah.
Pick up that phone and just, yeah, I love that so much. You guys are rocking it. I love keeping up with your story. It's just so inspiring. It's amazing.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That means a lot. And it's so cool that we have reached so many people. I mean, you're in Arkansas.
Yeah, right.
Like it's crazy. When we went to the Peppa Pig theme park, we flew to Florida and somebody on the flight was like, "Is that Sadie?"
Whoa,
I was
she's
like,
famous.
it's
Yeah.
worth it. Like all of this time that Jessica
Yeah, right.
is putting into social media, and it means so much that, I mean, so many people now know what Sanfilippo is.
Right.
I mean, it sounds like a Mexican restaurant, but it's not.
El Sanfilippo.
Now,
I wish it was that fun. Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Like everybody likes to get some queso.
Right. Who doesn't want guac and queso?
But it's so amazing how social media has done that, how social media has helped us reach. I mean, there's so much negativity with social media, that's a whole different podcast.
Yeah.
But like, it's awesome. Like you can reach so many people that you had no idea.
Exactly. Man, Ashley, thank you so much for joining me. It's been such a pleasure. I can't wait for people to hear your answers and just help spread awareness and love. And if anything, just remind people to live daily, like live
Yes,
life,
yes.
love. We're talking about those Hobby Lobby
Yeah.
sayings, but really, honest to goodness, I applaud you for your patience and your love. And thank you for keeping us updated via social media. It's been super eye-opening. And honestly, it's reminded me to not take small things for granted. So thank you.
And thank you so much for having me. This is huge. Like, this is only my second podcast. The first one was kind of small, but this is huge. Like, I'm so excited and I love your message.
Oh,
And
thank you.
thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. I will say, I always tell my guests when you sign up to be on here, you've basically signed up to be friends. So you'll be hearing from me. I always check in on my people. So I'll be checking in. That's it. Aunt Townsend going to be checking in from time to time. Okay. That's just the contract you signed. All right. Y'all have it. I love it. All right. Y'all have a fantastic day and we'll keep in touch. All right. See you, Ashley. Yeah, absolutely. Bye. If you're interested in a more holistic approach to mental health, I have the perfect place for you. My friend Raisha Clark is a counselor and neurotherapist located in the Little Rock, Arkansas area. She focuses on holistic body work, so that means treating mental health through brain and body interventions. Their services include psychotherapy, neurofeedback, and lymphatic drainage. So what is neurofeedback? Basically, it encourages the brain to learn more effective ways to self-regulate and ultimately produce more healthful brainwave patterns, which leads to more helpful thinking and behavior patterns. Lymphatic drainage, this is cool. They use the Balancer Pro, which gently compresses your body. It helps drain and flush out swelling, eliminate toxins, lactic acid, and muscle soreness, all of which contribute to cognitive and physiological decline. So if this interests you, be sure to go visit my friend Raisha Clark or visit her website at thecollectivecounseling.com. You won't regret it. Okay, guys, if you're in the market to buy or sell, I have the perfect company for you. Clark & Co. Realty is located in the Benton, Bryant, Arkansas area. They're able to serve you no matter where you're located in the state. They've streamlined the process of buying or selling a home to make it so much easier. They have a team of industry experts that make sure you have access from anything you can think of. I'm talking from local home inspectors to painters to gardeners and so much more, just to provide you with the best service possible. They're dedicated to providing the most up-to-date market data in the area. And I think the coolest part is if you go on their website, you can use their easy-to-use fast property search. You can even create a custom market report to see what's active, under contract, and sold in your neighborhood. Their team is made up of caring, knowledgeable professionals that work around the clock to help you with the process of buying and selling your home. So again, if you're in the market to buy or sell, Clark & Co. Realty is definitely the company for you. Tell them Townsend sent you. Let's be honest. I think we could all use somebody to talk to every now and then. Healing Path Counseling in Conway, Arkansas is 100% my go-to when it comes to therapy. Wendy Blackwood has more credentials than letters in the alphabet. She's won awards for her outstanding services and has a whole page of board memberships. Basically, she knows what she's doing. She works hard to help equip you with the tools needed to live your best life. She even offers a variety of services, including, but not limited to, cognitive behavioral therapy, technology-assisted counseling, relationship counseling, and EMDR. Trust me, I know therapy can be intimidating at first, but let me assure you, Wendy does her best to make you comfortable and find the best solutions and plans for you. Trust me, don't wait to make the call. Give Wendy Blackwood at Healing Path Counseling a call today. Get started on the best version of you.